Good morning. Thanks for joining us. Hey, I want to share a verse that's one of my favorites. You've probably heard me share it before. It's Galatians 2:20. And I know it pretty much by heart, I think. I think it's from the NIV. I am crucified with Christ. Nevertheless, I live. Yet not I, but Christ lives within me. And the life I now live in this flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. Just a powerful verse from beginning to end. And I want to share some things I picked up from Paul David Tripp. He says, get up and face life with courage, because as God's child, you have not been left to the limits of your own strength and wisdom. That's that whole reality of Christ within us. So as we are children of God, it's a statement of redemptive historical fact. I have been crucified with Christ. Now we know that he died to sin so that we could be free from the power of sin, free from the penalty of sin. But it was a substitutionary death, and I like what Tripp says. His death was just as effective for us as if we had died ourselves, because he died as our representative. His death satisfied God's anger against us, so we face it no more. Talked about it briefly on Sunday morning, and that's been a reality for me, is that I know there's times where God's disciplining me. And I've always kind of felt like, oh, that means God's angry. And sometimes the disciplines, it's very personal. Nobody else would see it, but I get it. And it's like, no, he just wants the very best. And I love what it says in the book of Revelation. I forget which of the 7 letters, but I think it's 3:19, where he says to the church, talks about being zealous and repenting, because those that I love, I reprove and chasten. I correct them. And so it's really a good thing. It's a statement of present redemptive reality. It is no longer I who live, but it's Christ who lives in me. And it's hard for us to wrap our hearts and minds around it. And I've been following Jesus long enough that sometimes I can just take for granted his presence. But I will say this, that I never sense that I'm alone, ever. I never sense that. And I've read that from some of my other favorite authors. I think I've mentioned that to you before. And then there's a life-shaping result. The life I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. And so we place our faith in the fact of what Jesus has done for us, and that his life is now within us. So as I was reading this devotional, I don't remember exactly which day it was, but I mark it. You know, I could show it to you. It's all marked up. But then I wrote some things on here. But I got a little frustrated because when I was trying to mark it with a pen, I went through 1, 2, 3 pens before I got one that wrote. What's the purpose of a pen? Oh, to look nice? To sit in your pocket? No. It has one singular purpose. It's to write. Now, the question is, why don't I toss them right away? Because sometimes I think, oh, if you try a little moisture on there, if you rub hard enough, and I hate to just throw the pen out. But a pen really only has one purpose. You and I were created really for one purpose, and that's to bring glory to God. And through Jesus, we can do that. Because of his death, his burial, his resurrection, because of his Spirit taking up residence in our lives, we have him to live through us. We really don't have anything to worry about. We have a life of purpose, and all that matters is that we fulfill the purpose that he has for our life. Don't be like those 3 pens. Be like that last one. Allow God to express his life, his love, his truth through you this very day. God bless you.